Hi, I'm Amy Lee from Evanescence, and you're watching Spazio Rock.
Hi, I'm for Entrevista. How was working with Steve White? Did he guide you, influence you during the creative process, or did he let you free to express yourself?
Well, actually, the producer that we ended up making the record with was Linux. He produced Deftones' last record, Foo Fighters records. He produced a lot of really cool stuff, and Rush too, and Alice in Chains. And he absolutely did. Totally creative, passionate music fan. It was cool because in the studio, really, the energy never fell. He was always ready to keep going and keep rocking out and getting excited and dancing around and playing air guitar, and had a lot of really good ideas too. Definitely would love to work with him anytime again. You too.
In what respect is Evanescence different from your previous works, and what should we expect from it?
I think it's different, yeah. I think that it has some growth. It's interesting. I really wanted to make a little bit of a departure, and we experimented with a lot of different things. When we were writing the record, went through kind of a lot of phases before finding the sound, for the new thing. But at the end of the day, especially since it had been so long, I had a chance to really remember and appreciate and find my home again within the band that I've always been a part of. So I think that this record is a departure. It is a little different. It's had a new attitude. It's up-tempo. It's rocking, and it's kind of badass. But at the same time, it's absolutely an Evanescence record. I don't think it would be right, especially to call it Evanescence, if it wasn't a true, for the fans, Evanescence record. Hi.
Alessandra Leoni for SpazioRock.it. So I think that this new album is very groove-oriented, and the rhythm is one of the key elements. I think that you said it right. It's an Evanescence album, but I think also it's definitely different compared to The Open Door and Poland.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I know you didn't really ask a question, but you're right on. I think that part of the reason the rhythm and the drums really were such a big part of the record, we have a wonderful drummer. This is the first record that we've made with Will. He's been in the band for a while, and we toured and everything together, but this is the first time he's playing on the record. He's an incredible drummer. But also, a lot of these songs were formed as a band, sitting with the drummer, and the guitar players in the band and the bass, all working together on creating the feel of the song at the same time, rather than just sort of, the chord progressions at the piano or with keyboards or whatever. It really was driven more by the band.
We are here for Music and Italy TV. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
We have a question.
Okay.
Hi. Your beats and your music are always so dark. Nothing to say about the power of the music. But why do I feel this darkness? Sadness?
Well, Evanescence is sort of my place for, it's my diary. It's the place to put my biggest feelings. So it's not that it's all sad. I wouldn't want it all to come across that way, for sure. But so many times, the biggest feelings that you have are when you're going through something that's hard. And our music has definitely had, a lot of that be the center, a lot of that kind of therapeutic outpouring of emotion. It's just passionate. So that's in there. I'm not a sad person. I'm a happy person. I have a good life. And I always want our music to still maintain hope. So I hope that comes through as well. Hi.
Hi. You say in the single, what you want is different from all the other songs. What kind of freedom you're talking about?
I think almost a better way to say it is it's about overcoming fear. It's about don't be afraid to go and live your life, because life doesn't last forever, and you shouldn't waste your life being afraid to try because you're afraid to feel. So do what you want.
It's true that you used to write down some song or maybe song by harp.
Yeah. There's not harp all over the album. It's just a little bit. The deluxe edition with all the songs, the 16, there are 3 with a little bit of harp on them. But on the regular CD, it's actually only 1. But one song, My Heart Is Broken, Have you heard the music, you guys? Okay. That piano part, actually I wrote that on the harp, but the song was much slower when we first wrote it. It was me and Terry and Tim sitting, and they were on, guitars, and I was playing the harp, so it was really fun, to write that way, because it's new for me, so it kind of makes you create in a different way, because it plays differently. So that's how that part was written, but then when we got to making the record, and working on the songs as a whole band with the drummer and everything else, the song got faster and faster and faster as we did it. And then by the time we got into the studio, I was like, right, let's do this. Got the harp, here we go. It was way too fast. So it was very, very, very hard to play, like impossible for me. So now it's a piano part.
In 1998, you did a music called Evanescence. Now your new album with the same name. Does it mean something? It's like going back to the region?
I think what you're talking about is probably something that was put together by fans. There's a lot of little CDs and things out there in the universe that are really just compilations that fans put together and put a cover on, and because they're really just old demos from when the band was first starting out. So I think that's just a coincidence there. Yeah. Hi.
You were planning writing new materials not one long time ago, but a few years ago.
Yes.
And then the album is just out now. So what did you do in the meantime?
Now, well, I've just been writing the entire time, every single day, pretty much. I haven't taken a vacation in years. Honestly, once I got to the point where I felt like I had the mission, and I knew that I wanted to make a record of some kind, I just started really, really focusing on that and writing all the time. We really have been working on the songs for this album for 2 years. Definitely. Some of the songs on the record are that old. Which is really cool because I think it's very dynamic. A lot goes on in your life in 2 years or 3 years. So there's a lot of different things to talk about and a lot of different elements to the music too, just from some experimentation.
Yeah, and how is it usually Evanescence album created? What do you start from?
Every song's different. Sometimes I'll just sit at the piano by myself and just start coming up with ideas. That's where a lot of my root ideas come from that I will come and share then with the band, and we'll create the full song together. But it's good for me sometimes to just start by myself so I can get the idea of the song and then we can make it full. But other times it'll come from a guitar part that somebody wrote, or even just drums, honestly. Some of the songs on this record, we really sat as a band and went, okay, who has an idea? Check this out, what do you think? And then, it becomes what it is from everyone putting their little bit of input in. I think that that collaboration is something that is something that's new for this band to work that way. And that's part of the reason it's a self-titled album. It's a little bit more band-driven like that. I think that's really cool. I think it really gives it a special energy. But I do write a lot by myself as well. It's kind of, especially the lyrics. Lyrics always come at the very end, almost always, when I'm by myself. So we'll write the music and the melodies, and then I'll go, okay, bye. Lock myself in the room and just, get serious.
There's a song in the album, and Swing Home, that
Yes.
reminded me of York.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also, I assume you like electronic music, and that genre, did it inspire you that much for the album?
Yeah, actually, there was a phase that I went through where I didn't know really if it was an Evanescence record yet, or if it was solo, or what it was going to be. And that song came from that time. I really like to be able to create without any rules. I didn't want to make a plan, okay, we're going to make an Evanescence record, it's going to sound like this, and blah, blah, blah. I don't like to make a plan. I like to just write and see what happens and see what is inspiring. And then I kept saying, everyone was asking me for a while, what is this? Is it solo? Is it Evanescence or what? And I was like, I don't know. Don't push me. I'm going to write the music and then let the music tell us what it's supposed to be. So for a while there was a lot of music that was sort of in this in-between world. I really love that song. I'm really proud of it. And for a while I thought that it wasn't going to be on the record because it didn't fit. I love it, but I thought that it was maybe too different. But then the more that I've gotten refamiliarized with what I believe Evanescence is and all the things that it can be, it's a very big canvas. It doesn't have to be all one way, and our music has always been a little bit dynamic. So I thought it was cool to be able to use that song as sort of the ending, because the song before it, Never Go Back, is the big, epic finale. We were imagining that at the end. And then to drift into the calm after the storm, you know, like that peaceful kind of bittersweet goodbye, I think is really great, and it works really well, actually.
How has changed the relationship with your friends over the years?
Yeah, I remember when we were first touring on our first record, and we were first going to other countries and meeting our fans all over the place. And you know, it's cool because it's a new experience, but we didn't know them yet, and you don't know what that really means. I feel now that I really have learned that we have fans that are fans for life, that are true fans of this music and of this idea and of this band, not just one song for 1 year and then they're off to something else. They really, really, truly care about the whole work and follow us and support us. And it's an amazing thing to be coming back now the third time and feel like we have a core group of supporters that are rooting for us. And it's not about judgment and like they better live up to their expectations and give us a record we love. They just love us. And especially, there's all over the world, but I especially feel that love with our fans here in Italy. We're going to be seeing some of them later today. I remember them. They're like a group of friends that I have overseas that we get to come see every time we do this, and they're so wonderful to us. The fans are a huge part of the reason that we're able to still do this. So I feel like our relationship with our fans, at least for me, is just better than ever. It feels like an old, strong relationship.
Someone wrote that what you want is a new sound, a little bit more commercial compared to what I've done before. What do you think about this?
I don't know. I think that in some ways, absolutely, because the vocals are sort of more sassy and pop, like at sometimes. But on the other hand, like the music itself is heavier to me. I think the easiest bridge that I can make from the last record to this one would be like "Call Me When You're Sober" to "What You Want." You know, it's got some of that same flavor, but the difference is that "What You Want" is a lot heavier. So I don't know. On one hand, yes, and on the other hand, no.
A lot of changes in the lineup. How are you getting along with your current band members, and what is working together?
Working together is awesome. This is the first time that we've all really been able to collaborate as a group, and it's awesome. This is the same band that we had out on tour the last time that we were out with the open door and everything. And I remember by the end of touring and everything, just feeling like, wow, like this is the best live band we've ever been. This is the strongest that we've been as a band. And when we were pulling it back together and going, okay, now this is an Evanescence record, we're doing this, I, more than anyone else in the world, wanted that exact group to be who made this record. And I'm so glad that it worked out and that everyone's still on board and we were able to just have that same team, because I just feel like it's going to be really great playing shows, and everybody in it is a great musician who brings something truly meaningful and unique to the table. So when we sit in a room and work together, like we're able to all play off of each other and be better, with it being more, instead of, sometimes in the past for me, the most common way of writing was sort of between me and one other member. So for this time to have all of that, the drums and the bass and the guitars and the piano and the voice, like all working as one thing, I don't know, it's a great feeling. It's a really, really good feeling. It feels like a band, yeah.